We have a special guest. Her name is Dr. Summer, and you are going to be learning proper breathing through a technique that you probably have never heard of before. It's very interesting. You guys all understand core bracing, strengthen your core, but there's a technique especially for people who have pelvic floor problems. Or actually, raise your hand if this is you. Have you had a hernia before? Maybe a hiatal hernia, an inguinal hernia, an umbilical hernia? If you're a woman or a guy, when you run or jump, you maybe pee a little bit? Or a uterine, or a prolapse, or a diastasis recti, or a disc herniation? Basically, these are things that if you're squeezing your stomach incorrectly, you're making shit pop outwards in all directions. It's like, huh, and the next thing you got squirts of water coming out everywhere. You got a hernia coming out here. You got a fart coming out of your butt. You got pee coming out. Your prolapse is coming down. All this stuff happens. One cause of this, a major cause, is your inability to properly breathe, to properly brace, and to use your diaphragm. And to properly use your pelvic floor muscles. Dr. Summer Nicole, she has been a yoga instructor for 18 years. She's a doctor of physical therapy, and she's been a friend of mine I've known her for over 8 years. And she's actually been traveling the world teaching a technique called hypopressive breathing. And she just taught us this. It's amazing, and we actually have learned already. And now you are gonna learn. Does any of that ring a bell for you as well? Any of those things? Let's bring Dr. Summer on. Dr. Summer, come on over here. Woo! Yay! All right, Dr. Summer, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So is anyone, any comments on here so far? Anybody have, ring a bell with did I miss any symptoms that people might have?
I think you nailed it. Anything that is a result of too much pressure in the abdomen.
Too much pressure.
Anything that bulges in any direction outward, you nailed it.
Anything that bulges from the stomach outward, right? Hernias pop out here, they pop out here, they pop out down here. Herniations pop out this way. The uterus pops down that way. All this stuff goes out in all these directions.
So a couple other ones would be like incontinence, like you mentioned, but also sexual dysfunction.
All right, sexual dysfunction.
Yep.
Oh boy.
I'm surprised you forgot that one.
I can't believe I forgot that one.
Yeah, because if you're not able to have an orgasm, or if you have erectile dysfunction, those are both symptoms of pelvic floor dysfunction.
Whoa. Yeah, that's you. Buddy's like looking around. You. Yeah, your sex life is about to take a turn for the better. All right, so the first thing you may want to know is, you may want to know, like, hey, how do I know if I'm breathing? Maybe you should give them a little thing of what is hypopressive breathing in a nutshell. So, like, what does that look like? You want to bring him, or you want to show them?
Why don't you come, and then while I'm talking, you can do it.
So you want to know what it is. You go, what is this hypopressive? So here's where you learn today.
Hypo means low, so it's low pressure breathing. Go ahead, Mike.
All I'm going to say, so the order today is going to be, you're going to learn what is hypopressive breathing. You're going to test your own ability. Can you hypopressive breathe? You're going to learn 3 tests. And then you're going to learn a few skills today to start improving that if you can't do it. And Dr. Summer teaches internationally. She teaches workshops. We'll connect you with that if it's something you want to pursue further.
So basically, it's called hypopressive breathing is low pressure breathing. So what it does is it decreases pressure in the thoracic, abdominal, and pelvic cavities, okay? So the inhale is, and you're gonna do this for me, okay, while I talk. The inhale is, and the exhale is a relaxed abdominal wall. Okay, so he's going to do his very best to relax his very strong abs here. So relax your belly.
That is incredibly relaxed.
That's relaxed. He does a pretty good job. It's deceiving. Okay, now he's going to inhale. Sorry, my hands are going to be cold. Inhale into the sides of the rib cage, not the belly. So he's going to inhale right into my hands. You can do this as you're watching.
Do this now.
Now on your exhale, open your mouth, grow taller through the crown of your head, and do a little ha sound in the back of the throat. Okay. Keep your belly relaxed. Okay, now inhale wide into your side ribs again. Just your ribs, not your belly. As wide as you can get your ribs. And then open your mouth. Little ha sound in the back of the throat. Grow tall with the little chin tuck. Yeah, little chin tuck. There you go, little chin tuck. There you go. And then one more.
So focused.
Inhale. And then this time he's going to exhale. Your exhale's twice as long as your inhale. He's going to empty the lungs completely with the relaxed belly. And then you want to show him the little nose plug. And then coming into the apnea. So the apnea is a passive lift of a relaxed abdominal wall. Okay, so he's widening the ribs, taking exactly, inhale wide into your ribs, and then open your mouth and exhale nice and slow when you're ready, nice and slow. We're gonna do one more round because it's gonna show it even better. Okay, inhale.
Oh boy.
Inhale.
Guys, especially pelvic floor, it's these muscles, right? It's these ones right down here, right? There's a vagina in there, anus, all these things in here.
And let your hands drop so they can see.
And what he's doing here is these muscles down here can become very weighted, and then it can push the contents downward. It's like a 300-pound person sitting on a trampoline.
There you go. Inhale wide into your ribs.
What he's learning right now.
Okay, and then he's going to exhale, empty the lungs completely. Okay, he's going to get tall. The bottom of the exhale, you can use the nose plug if you want, but you don't have to. Coming into the apnea, which is the breath holding part. So he's going to widen his ribs as if he was going to take a breath in, but he's not going to take any air in. So coming into the apnea at the bottom of your exhale. Yep. So sometimes you got to get one more breath in.
There.
Yep, and this is at the bottom after he's emptied his lungs. He's gonna hold it maybe 5 seconds and then inhale wide into the ribs. He's pushing down.
Let's pause that for a second.
That's it.
What he's doing when he's drawing upwards, guys,
Okay.
that pressure he's creating by drawing up is lifting the pelvic floor upwards. It lifts it up through pressure. And whenever the problems occur whenever it pushes downward like this. Okay? This is where problems occur. It goes like this. Okay? This is allowing him to lift the pelvic floor muscles up, which is going to help you
They see it better?
fix your shit.
No?
Oh, that's good.
Right.
Yeah. So it's basically that's the basic breath, the inhale and the exhale. In this method of low pressure fitness, it's called rest breathing. You can do that inhale and exhale as many times a day as you can think about. But the apnea, it's the progression to the method. It's like the exhale on steroids. So with the exhale, you're still going to lift the diaphragm, lift the organs so that the pelvic floor becomes unweighted. But with the apnea, it's kind of like the exhale on steroids.
Let's test. How about they test? It's time to test.
Okay, so three different tests you can do yourself. One is for diaphragm tightness, because when your diaphragm is too tight and you do a lot of crunches and traditional core work, it will push the organs down and weight the pelvic floor, creating a pelvic floor dysfunction. So self-assessment for diaphragm tightness.
3 of them.
So you're gonna lay on your back.
Everyone, lay down. Yeah, you sitting there looking at me. Lay down.
Okay.
You're like sitting heads forward. Get your phone, lay down there. You're doing better. Good job.
It's gonna go.
You take a couple fingers at the lowest part of your sternum. So he's going to go right at the lowest part. And he's literally just going to go right and left. He's going to relax his belly, let your knees fall in so your belly stays relaxed. There you go. And he's just going to try to get his fingers up under his rib cage. And all you're doing is feeling for tightness, tenderness, if one side feels more tight or more tender than the other.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Jesus. Here. You're going under that rib cage. See? Not that far, but you're getting under there. Your diaphragm attaches. See? It attaches from here and attaches to the spine, and it forms this whole thing right here. This big flat muscle. Boom. And when you breathe in, it actually draws downward, whoop, like that. But the problem is if you're not drawing up from your pelvic floor and you're only going down, all that contents just comes right out the freaking bottom, man. Like, wow, that thing's sharp.
So if you're finding tightness and tenderness, which most people do when they do this, it's because the diaphragm becomes really, really tight from not only decreased spine and rib mobility, but anxiety, stress, think trauma in the body. So this method's really good for reversing like the residual residue of that diaphragm tightness from your nervous system being on fight or flight for so long. So that's your diaphragm tightness self-assessment, okay?
Yeah, it's tight here.
Ready for the next
Did you talk about people with trauma in their life too?
Yeah,
Is that what you just said? I wasn't
Just
listening.
said it.
All right.
Yeah, so
great.
anybody with
Continue.
childhood trauma, which is most of us, right? We've been in a protective mode or our nervous system has been on fight or flight. And this method works to literally like stretch out your diaphragm in a way where you're utilizing it to its fullest capacity. So it gets rid of that residue that basically trauma leaves in the body. It's
Screw
awesome.
that residue. What it is like your bicep, your diaphragm right now. If you're not breathing fully, it's like you're doing a bicep curl from here. Now what you're doing is you're going to learn how to lengthen your diaphragm, and then you can do the full range just like this, just like that, like that. Go on.
Okay, ready? Okay, second self-assessment for abdominal competency. Same deal. Just let your knees fall in. Relax your abdominal wall. Put one hand on your low belly and then one hand over your belly button. Yep. And then you're just gonna cough several times. And all you're doing is feeling for if your hands bulge away from you, like towards the ceiling, or if they go in. Okay. With a healthy abdominal wall, it will go in when you cough. If it's bulging out, it's incompetency of the abdominal wall.
I felt mine going out, but
This one goes in down, and this one goes out.
Yeah, so you might find differences even in the upper and lower abdominal. So just pay attention to what you feel.
Hey, question.
Yeah.
After doing the training exercise, I can actually already cough now by going in.
But are you consciously doing that?
I am consciously, but I didn't even know consciously I should do that before.
Yeah, well, this method you won't have to think about it, and you'll just cough and you'll do it. So
Well, I'm at
that's why
step
you
one,
use
which
this test.
is step one's probably usually conscious, and then we get into. I just was excited that go
Avoid
on.
him for a minute.
Did you say bite him?
Instead of avoid.
I said bite.
Okay, ready
Okay.
for the third one?
Yeah.
Okay, perineal competency test.
Chode,
or
grundle.
Competency of your pelvic floor. Okay, so literally you want to put your hand just right between your pubic bone and tailbone.
Guys, pubic bone, tailbone. Dr. Summer, they don't know what the hell that means. Guys, women between the vagina and the anus. Guys, balls in the anus. Go in the middle there and push up in there.
Okay, and then you're gonna cough. Go from the front, and then you're gonna
so
cough.
You want me to go from the
Anatomical.
front? I'm going deep.
Who's
Go
going
deep.
to- And then you're just gonna cough, and you're gonna feel what's underneath your hands. And so if
Just
your
a little
pelvic
bit.
floor is bulging into your hands, that would be a positive test. You want when you cough the pelvic floor to go up and
It's not
in.
doing it
if I
like it
could
was
check-
earlier.
Relax.
What?
There's minimal bulging. Wait.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
But
got
all
a
of these
little
are
bit.
just baseline tests for you, so that if you were to take on the hypopressive breathing method, you could. Test
I mean, should
yourself
I do
3
like
months
reach
down the road.
around here, or should I go in the back?
No, from the front.
Okay. Oh, I can feel it though.
Yeah.
I feel what I'm supposed to do. Like based on what you guys, you're gonna learn a technique here in a few minutes. You're gonna learn a technique about suction breathing, or what do you call that?
Apnea.
Bam. And then you'll learn to apply it, because I can already tell what I was doing before. I can change it.
Well,
Okay.
get back in this
Exactly.
position again.
Yeah, well, hold on. I'm good here. I like this spot. How's our audience?
Great.
What's going on with any just waves and stuff? Usual thing.
Yeah, a little laughing.
Good.
Someone said penis.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay. Our audiences, they're kind of demented, just so you know. I think we just like.
So are we. So it's
I know. That's we like gets along with like. Because I say grundle, they're like, oh.
Got it.
I don't know what that means.
Well, people do. Just it's
What's
my
next,
age.
Doc?
Oh, what's next? You want to go into the inhale and exhale?
Wait, hold on. We did the two.
We did all 3.
We did 3. We did that one. Anyone? Hey, is anyone able to cough and it goes in?
It's unlikely. Most people that show up in my workshops have incompetency of the abdominal wall and the pelvic floor.
Yeah, mine went out. But
It's a lot from too much traditional core work, too many crunches, leg lifts, running, jumping, things that increase intra-abdominal pressure. That's what this method's like the opposite of that.
that's cool. Like I feel like I've like got a new skill to practice. Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We have a
Ready?
question. Is it called a diaphragm because you die if it explodes?
What?
Is it called a diaphragm because you die if it explodes?
Possibly.
There we
We
go.
might need someone new to read questions.
Okay, so far we went over. Let me get straight here. This is, guys, for those guys who just jumped in, this is Dr. Summer. She teaches a technique to help people recover from pelvic floor problems and any other problems that are when you have too much pressure in your stomach and stuff pops outwards. Hernias, diastasis recti, maybe you're urinating when you walk or exercise, or you pee a little bit there, herniated back. And these are reasons why you guys are so, especially you lifters out there, you're taught to do this bear down movement.
CrossFitters.
Oh, what a mess, guys. You're screwing yourself up. Or, hey, hemorrhoids. Yeah, you've got hemorrhoid coming out of your butt. 100%. So you're sitting down, bearing down instead of lifting up. So you're going to learn, we're learning right now how to test your own breathing and to see if you're breathing and using your core correctly. And if we just went through 3 tests, and if you failed at those, you're gonna take some steps right now, some little steps to improve. But there's like any skill to develop, these skills take time. There's a process. If you're lousy at this now, imagine you just went Imagine you've never golfed before, and you pick up a club, and you swing it, and you go, I'm not good at this. No shit, you're not good at it. You just swung it once. It takes 20 years to be an amazing golfer. It's usually a 20-year sport.
Dirty ass foot.
Point is, guys, these are skills for you to develop. They take time to develop. You improve a little bit at a time. That's always the best route to success. It's not this magic grand slam out of the park, so quit looking for it. Okay, continue.
Well said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so now we tested it. Now you're gonna learn some techniques, which I actually learned right before this, guys. And I'll tell you what, I honestly feel like a change already happened in my body. It's super cool, and you will too. So lay on your back.
All right, we'll do the one on your back. So bend your knees. Go longer than a bridge pose. So if this is like bridge pose in yoga, bring your feet out just a little bit more, and then dorsiflex your feet so your shins are turned on.
Dorsiflex means pull your toes up.
Longer with your legs even. Yeah. And then from there, pull back on your heels so your hamstrings engage.
Pulling me.
Exactly. Now it's going to anchor the pelvis. Okay, his feet, everything's neat, hips distance apart. And then I know that these guys have showed you how to find out if you have neutral spine.
Yeah.
So you're going to find that you have neutral spine, so you want to have that little curve in your lower back, right? And then you're just going to flip your palms up towards the ceiling. We haven't done this yet, so it's going to be new for him. He's going to flip his palms up towards the ceiling about like that. Bend your elbows. And then as if I had my fingers right here on your palms, push up through the elbows, and then, or up through the palms, and then out through the elbows. So reach wide through the elbows, push your elbows straight into me. So it engages serratus. Yep, push him into me. There, that's it, okay? So now, this is just to engage the shoulder girdle, okay? So you're gonna feel this part of your shoulder on.
Do you see Andrew's serratuses? These are serratus muscles, guys.
Perfect specimen to see this.
He's a good specimen for this. That's about it, though.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. Good. Now from here, you're going to grow tall through the crown of the head, maintain all that leg engagement, okay? Keep the pressure here. And then he's going to inhale wide into his side ribs. And then he's going to open the mouth, exhale the air nice and slow. Keep reaching wide through the elbows, up through the palms, okay?
Supposed to be relaxed there?
Relaxed.
He's not relaxed.
Inhale through the nose. And then he's going to open the mouth and he's going to exhale twice as long. And that's so that he can keep the belly as relaxed as possible. Okay. And we're going to do one more breath in here. So he's going to go wide into his ribs. Good. On the exhale, he's going to push up through his palms, emptying the lungs completely till all the air is out. And then he's going to come into the apnea. So if he wants, he can use the nose plug, but he doesn't have to. Hold on. And then he's emptying the lungs and then he's going to come into the apnea. He's going to hold it 5, maybe 6 seconds. And then he's going to inhale wide when he's ready. Good. And on the exhale, you just slowly come down. You can just push into me as your hands come down. So that's like one, there. That's like one round. But you would do 3 rounds, okay? So just for the sake of time, I'm showing you one.
Did we go over the nose, how to hold the nose, plug it?
Yeah, so you didn't even need it, right?
No.
The nose plug. So yeah, so if you want it's the cheater's way to learn how to do this suction, this vacuum of your relaxed belly, but you got to exhale your air with a relaxed belly. You can put your hands here to see if you're actually contracting your abs. If you are, it's going to bulge your fingers out of there. Some people need to spend a week or 2 just getting that abdominal wall to relax on the exhale, okay? He's going to empty the lungs completely on the exhale, and then he's going to plug the nose once his lungs are completely empty, and then coming into that passive lift of a relaxed abdominal wall.
He's breathing in through his nose. He's going as if he was going to breathe air, but it's plugged. So what is occurring is that lift is happening where all this contents are being suctioned up towards his throat along with your pelvic floor.
Yeah, so what this method does, and you can keep demoing as much as you want with the apnea literally means no breath. And so he's taking a fake inhale, like Mike said. You're as if you were taking air in, you're widening your ribs, but you're not taking any air in. So what it does is lifts all of this myofascial tissue of the pelvic floor and the abdominals and lifts organs off pelvic floor because diaphragm is elevating.
Everything's
drawing up.
It's opposite, guys, right? The problems, the diastasis recti, the sexual erectile dysfunction, all of these are likely to be caused from you doing opposite, which is pushing. Can you show them the opposite, Andrew? Pushing down. Yeah, you're jamming your contents downward.
Like a ton of these a day will eventually create a pelvic floor dysfunction.
You're completely 180ing, reversing those effects by creating this apnea, this dry breath, where you're drawing all your contents completely opposite. It's like you got a level, like a a level, like you'd measure something straight and just turning it completely other way.
And for any of you that are into yoga out there, the apnea has very similar effects to what true Uddiyana Bandha is, which is it's the diaphragm lock in yoga. And so it has very, very similar effects to that. And it's why I call my workshops yoga rehab, because you're literally using an ancient yogic breathing technique to reverse pelvic floor dysfunction. It's the only thing I've come across as a physical therapist that turns on your deep core muscles the way they're supposed to function, which is all at once, and involuntarily, like reflexively, they're supposed to turn on for you. So that's what this method does. He's growing tall through the crown of the head with a little chin tuck, his feet dorsiflexed. That's going to turn on transversus abdominis, internal obliques. Yeah, so just learning how to do this breath, this is one of the exercises, but learning the postural cues with the breath turns on your core the way that it's actually supposed to function.
And what is the full process? Can you detail, how about like a timeline and a sequence of the process that you teach in these workshops? What does that look like?
Yeah, like I'm doing right now the intro workshop, which is 3 hours, and give people a lot of the, the lecture part, give people the why of like why you would even want to be doing this, teaching them the basic breath, doing quite a bit of partner work, so that, because if I'm teaching you one-on-one, I'm doing a lot of manual cues, to you to get you to resist where you're supposed to resist. So I do a lot of partner work in the intro workshop, go over the basic breath, teach people the apnea, and I usually get through about 4 intro exercises during that workshop, and that's about like just under 3 hours. And then I just started to teach the level 1 workshop, which is less of the theory, less of the talking, and just actually the level 1 sequence.
What is the sequence?
Yeah, it's 10 exercises, and it's called low pressure fitness. And it's 10 exercises of that low pressure fitness program, which is for pelvic floor restoration.
So if I'm right, the low pressure fitness, what it is now you're going to be learning how to apply this technique to different movements of your life.
Yeah, the low pressure fitness is the brand that took hypopressive breathing and created these sequences of static exercises that incorporates the hypopressive breath with the specific postural cueing. And so it's a rehab tool. It's literally a rehab method.
Sweet. And Dr. Summer, how can they, I'm sure there's people out here that want to stay connected with you, want to learn about so you offer intro workshops and level 1?
And level 1 workshops, yep. And I'm developing a 2-day more in-depth intensive for people that want to dive deeper into it and actually teach it.
Yep.
And called Yoga Rehab Intensive, and teaching people how to work with the body a little bit better. And but yeah, intro and level 1 workshops internationally, and I work one-on-one with people over Skype.
Right.
And then I'm in San Diego for the next few weeks, so I'll see clients whenever
Cool.
I'm in whatever town.
How can they get a hold of you?
The best way would be my website, which is yogadoctors, plural, .tv, yogadoctors.tv. My email is really easy, somer@yogadoctors.tv.
And Instagram is Yoga Doctors.
Yogadoctors.tv.
Yogadoctors.tv on Instagram.
Yeah.
What questions do we have from there? Hank, you have any relevant questions other than people said word penis?
Do you have to hyperoxygenate before the apnea?
Do you have to hyperoxygenate?
They're worried about passing
Women
out.
off stuff.
No, so one thing about the apnea is that whenever you're doing the breath holding part, your oxygen is going down and your CO2 is going up. So
Yep.
it actually can trigger your fight or flight response. You maybe feel that.
I felt it a few
And so
times.
you're consciously working with that fight or flight response, right? So
Yeah, it was good.
It's basically as soon as you feel that, if you feel a little moment of panic, like I need to get air in, all you do is breathe as wide as you can into the sides of the ribs, and then exhale your air. So just doing this basic inhale and exhale is going to get your ribs to expand as much as possible, to get your diaphragm to be at max capacity as much as possible. So as you keep doing the rounds of breathing, you'll get more and more oxygen into the body, so that once you get to the apnea, it's not quite so hard.
Can you go over the 3 tests again to see? Because I actually found on those tests as well, guys. When I was doing test number 1, I found this gnarly adhesion kind of knot thing on my left side of my diaphragm right here.
Yeah.
Could you go over the 3 tests where people just jumped in?
Yep, so the first one is just to test your own diaphragm tightness. So I'll let him demonstrate. So you go right to the bottom of your sternum, okay, and then you're just going to literally lay down like he is, but push up and see how far you can get up under your ribs. Because most people are pretty tight, pretty tender here. One side feels tighter than the other. I want you to go back and forth 2 or 3 times and just feel what you feel under your fingers. And that's just to test your own diaphragm tightness. They say normal, you should be able to get like your first thumb joint up underneath there. Most people cannot do that.
What if your thumb joint's
you have actually
massive?
a really long thumb, so
I see.
that doesn't count.
But I can.
Did you go over those 3?
Yeah, no. So the second is the abdominal wall competency test. So come here and here. And you're going to just feel whenever you cough several times if your abdominals bulge up or down.
Which this one is.
If they bulge up, okay, that's a positive test. You want when you cough for your abdominal wall, your whole abdominal wall to go down.
This one
Okay.
goes down.
And then the perineal competency test is hand between pubic bone and tailbone.
Tell
on
them
the
where it
pelvic
is.
floor.
How do they find it?
Put your hand in your crotch. Is basically how you find it, and then come into that
Yeah,
cough
summer.
again. Okay, come into that cough, and then feel: is it bulging into your hands or is it pulling up and in? You want it to be pulling up and in when you cough.
It's
So it's just a baseline for you. Yeah.
We have
It is.
we have Dorado. She says, if you have 2 cesareans, can you really get your core to engage totally?
This method will engage your core without you having to consciously think about it. Yes, like the way this breathing works and the postural cues, that's what I'm saying. This method turns on your deep core the way that it's supposed to function, which is involuntarily without you having to think about it. So you won't ever hear me say like to anybody that I'm teaching, draw your belly up and in or lift your pelvic floor, because you don't have to do that with this method. Part of the method, along with the decrease in the intra-abdominal pressure, is that you actually get that activation of your deep core muscles.
Here we go. Amber, my pelvic floor therapist told me to do the opposite and push my pelvic floor down when I breathe to relax a tight pelvic floor.
Piston.
To relax a tight pelvic floor, I'd recommend doing belly breathing in supine, and that's to relax the pelvic floor. The majority of
That's
people
on your
with-
back, guys.
Yeah,
Supine.
most people with pelvic floor dysfunction have a tight pelvic floor. It's too tight because they have too much pressure. Their organs are weighting their pelvic floor. The way you can, and I'm not saying like belly breathing is bad. It can actually be used just like she's saying, is like if you're just laying on your back and you're just belly breathing, then you're gonna feel on the inhale your pelvic floor should relax, right? Even whenever you're going to urinate, like try to relax your pelvic floor. I was taught, sit on the toilet, especially those of you with incontinence, sit up really tall, put your elbows on your knees, and so your pelvis is tilted forward. It'll help center the bladder, it'll help you void all the way, help you empty all the way.
Void.
Void. Void. Okay. It's almost like it's not as loud as usual. That's because I'm not talking as much.
Yeah. Nicole, Summer. Nicole, damn.
Start yelling.
Yeah. Scream at him.
Oh, yeah, they are saying she needs to be as loud as you, Mike.
No, it's not possible.
It's not possible.
Okay, awesome. Cool. No other questions?
Okay.
That's great. Well, Dr. Summer,
Yep.
thank you so much for
You're
coming
welcome.
and
Thank
teaching.
you for having me.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. It's great seeing you, connecting with you again, especially this way. It's great.
You too.
I ran into her a few weeks ago at a restaurant. I haven't seen her in years, and she caught me up with what she was doing. I go, we got to get you on. So that's great. And everyone now, you have the contact info. One more time, she is yogadoctors.tv on Instagram, yogadoctorstv.com,
.tv.
yogadoctors.tv. That's her website.
Yep.
She teaches workshops. She's actually going to be teaching stuff online as well. She's going to have a couple online programs. So make sure you stay connected with that. And good job, Andrew.
Yep. Nice demo.
All right, guys. Thank
Thanks,
you guys very
guys.
much. See you guys.
Later, dudes.